spring practice until now, is there one aspect of the offense that you've seen the most development and one of the most elements that you're most proud of when you look at the last 9 or so months that this offense really looks night and day different?
No, not really. I mean, I came in with a clear mind. I came in with no expectations in regards to, what the record was, what the ranks were. Probably too old to really, to know that that's not part of it. Came in with a clean slate. Really wanted to focus my attention on the players. I knew there's plenty of scheme that we all know at this age usually. But it was focused around what kind of players we had, what scheme they had done, what it felt like was part of the system I want to bring in, what we felt like we could coach. And I think each week these guys have done a fantastic job of implementing whatever it is we want to move forward with. There's obviously an identity to what we want to get done, and that was the most important part. And there was no timetable for winning, no timetable for being a top whatever ranked defense or offense. There's no timetable for that. I think you end up putting yourself the cart before the horse when you do that. Right? I think the timetable was for actions and attitudes and a way style we want to play that wins football games, and that's always been the most pressing piece, especially early on. Take care of the football, be efficient on first, second down, stay out of the change. You got a quarterback, you got new players, you got a new scheme. What can you do effectively each week in and out to win a football game, not win the season? So they've done a great job, man. My hat's off every position.
Chris and then Kerry.
Chris Cartman, Son of the Source. Marcus, for a game like this, we have more time to prepare and also maybe the magnitude of it. How much does that change game planning and or play calling?
You got to be careful there. I think if I go back, this 20 years, and now if I go back, many moons ago to early bowl games, you probably spend too much time, honestly. Get too many plays, too many ideas. I think over the course of time, in bowl games where you've been, or NFL, whatever you've done, the preparation still has to be at a point where it's digestible and focused on how many plays you can get, where you can find some form of efficiency in the game. A little bit different here was obviously we had a bye, but the bye didn't give us much information. We had 2 teams, we didn't know which one. So I think the other thing that I mentioned before, and I'm sure has been mentioned, that gets forgotten sometimes is when you get prepared for a bowl game, you get extra time for your young guys. So we had a whole bunch of practices with young guys that we got a chance to see development, put them on the field for some practices, evaluate that, give them some more reps, rest your guys from the season because it's been a long season usually. So more focused on those pieces probably in the hall than it was a specific play calling in this game until last week and you knew you were playing. But I think those are the huge benefits of a time of prepping for the time between a game and a bowl game or playoff games is the chance to get healthy, the chance to evaluate, and then obviously we threw the portal in there and I get free agency in the middle of it, so you're drinking to a fire hose.
Gary Osep, 12 News, Matthew.
Hi.
Okay, so with that, talking about this new day and age with the transfer portal and just a lot of changes year to year, when you're trying to build chemistry like that and seeing you guys do it as quickly as you have, how much does the heart and the passion of the guys play into that, outside of the other intangibles of obviously it's IQ and talent, but you see it with this team, the heart, and I just want to know how much did that play into building the chemistry so quickly?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to take any accolades for that. I signed up for that. I got recruited to that too. I got recruited by Kenny, and being in this game for a long time, I myself was looking for a certain thing at this age and in the timetable I've been. And I'm looking for a culture. I'm looking for an identity. I'm looking for a group that trusts each other. I'm looking for an alignment and autonomy amongst a group and a culture and a program and administration that wants to align themselves to having success. I felt like I had that when I met him. We did interviews a couple times. So it was no coincidence to me that the team was going to be reflective of him. He won't take credit for that. I'll give him credit for that. But I'm just one piece of that. When I met the staff, it was the same way. Our team plays for each other. Our team plays with a selflessness, a toughness, an identity that is nurtured inside this building, point blank. They weren't worried about outside influences. They weren't worried about being ranked by nobody. They weren't worried about being last. We're not supposed to be here by anybody. We know that, and no one really gave it until now. So that's it, and it's been humbling. But that's a really good identity. I don't think you don't want to play the martyr. I think at the end of the day, that's a really good quality to have outside of moving through life is the fact that you just got to focus on what you need to get done. What is a timetable for having actions and attitudes that win in football or win in life, not so much just winning a game.
Blake and then Doug.
Hey Marcus, Blake Neiman, Sun Devil Source. This is the Texas defense that has forced some of the most turnovers in the country. What are your general thoughts on their defensive scheme and how you can keep Sam in the best position to be successful?
Yeah, you're playing. I've had a fortunate opportunity to be down there and see those guys, know those guys for a while at that university. Pete and Zark and Banks, and all those guys for a while. I had a chance to go down there and see them develop that culture and that team. You're playing against one of the best ranked defenses in the top 10 almost every statistical category in college football. This will be as good a defense as we played. They put themselves in position for that over the course of time. They built that both through the roster and the scheme and the coaching. That's an exciting challenge. I think you grow up, you want an opportunity. If you're an ultra competitor, you want an opportunity to play against the best. You go find that game. There's a pickup game, and it's not good enough for you. You want a better game. You go find that game. You drive, go find that game. And right now, that's it. We got a game. We've got an opportunity to play against some really, really talented teams. This one being the one of the best teams in the country. We've got a great task. They do a great job up front. They do a great job schematically. They're second level backers. They're third winner at the defensive back. They're deep, and they're coached well. I mean, this is an awesome opportunity to go out on a big stage and go out and put our best foot forward and shoot your shot. So it's exciting. There's nothing other than that to say is everyone's fired up for this challenge.
Go ahead.
Just a quick follow up. Some of their secondary members and just the secondary as a whole is really remarkable and outstanding. What do you notice about that and how that may pose some challenges for Sam to navigate?
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing against a defense as well, you got to be patient with it. You got to be patient with some of the stuff you're doing. You got to find a little bit of here and there, some edges wherever you can find them. Be patient. Take care of the football. Try to avoid negative plays. Stay in manageable situations best you can. Create some leverage or matchups in any which way we can. Get creative and try to put our best foot forward. You got to play fast. You got to get the guys to know what they're doing when you're playing good defenses. You can't give them a whole bunch of wizardry and expect guys to try to figure it out on the fly. That'd be a mistake by me. I think do some things we've done. Stay true to who we are and let our guys go play fast. And so it's awesome. It's a great opportunity. They're excited about the challenge. I know that.
We're just going back to what you said about signing up for what Kenny pitched to you. The timing, that was a dark time for the program, just coming off the 3-win seasons, the NCAA probation. Did you have some reservations before you talked to Kenny about I really am interested to hear what he has to say because of all that? And if so, what was it that really, the pitch that really made you want to come here and make your mark?
Yeah, that's a great question, and with all candidness, I think I'd be lying to say that I'm no different than anybody else in the profession. When you're choosing to go somewhere and bring your family along, is you've got some things in our profession. I mean, got here was on probation. There was a really dark cloud over this place for everything we do know. There's no secret to that, and I was apprehensive. I mean, I've seen this place for a long time. I've been in some places that we've won a lot of big games. I was apprehensive to know, not so much that it could be done, because at the end of the day, I think that when you put people aligned in the right way, you can accomplish great things. I mean, you got guys like Crow starting there, and you got guys like Graham, and you got guys like Kenny. When I started to see that alignment and believe and meet those people and hear about some of those commitments they've made, when I know those commitments and when it gets really dark aren't convenient, when I hear people make that shows me the trust and belief people have in a movement. That's what sold me. That's really what it was. I didn't know there was no. We had a quarterback here that was unproven that was supposed to be whatever it was this. We had a running back here at some of this. We had one center I knew that was with me at UNLV when I was head coach. I mean, I didn't know much else other than I knew the conference landscape. I've been in the Big 12 before. I did know that. I was excited about that. I think it's a great conference. But I called everyone I knew. I called anyone that knew anybody about it to see what the best decision was, just like recruiting. And at the end of the day, it was the alignment amongst those people, those decision makers. It was Crow with Graham, Kenny, administration, all those people started really aligning to each other, and I could feel it, I could hear it. I've been this long enough to know that I was like, okay, I don't care how dark it is. The other side's a light, let's grind.
I'll pass that up here. Dave.
Hey Marcus, Damon Allred, Arizona Sports. A lot has been made about how you guys are internally messaging to match Texas's physicality because of the physicality they present on defense. We've talked about that for the line especially, and then Cam setting the tone in the run game. What do you make of the physicality challenges in this game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the team we're playing speaks for itself. We've kind of gone over that, you know. I mean, you turn the tape on, it's not hard to see. In regards to the physical identity of playing in this game, I'd say that temperament probably hasn't changed throughout our guys throughout the course of the season. We've challenged those guys to be a tough and physical group. We've played that way in most facets of the game, whether it be the run game or one-on-one blocking on the perimeter. We've tried to be a physical football team. Because we believe that's what gives you the best chance to win. That's an identity. I believe in that's an identity. Kenny believes in that's our defense. It makes your defense better. To hear those guys reiterate that isn't a surprise to me, especially now that you're playing a team that is ultra physical and talented. You're going to need that. You leave home with that you can pack whatever you want, cool gear you want. You leave home without your toughest in this game, you're going to get smacked.
Like, you coached in the Rose Bowl when Justin Herbert had a hat trick and touchdowns. What do you think elevates a player or players in big time games to be able to meet the level?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Justin was a senior at that point. We had a few seasons under our belt to kind of feel maturity and the time, the space for that game. You know, he grew into it. I think at any stage when you've got an opportunity on these stages, you just need to be able to hope that over the course of your progression and your time together, you've put guys in position to be calm and poised and really, you know, feel the time for that game. You can't if you're getting in these games and guys are feeling surprised or it's overwhelming, you're probably gonna have a hard time. I think the opportunities for games like that are in games like, I mean, even Sam said from games this season as a young guy, games to where the game slows down goes far beyond that one moment. It went back to the process of getting prepared for that game and the hardships and the mental fortitude and toughness that he played and prepared for that made that game slow down in that moment that prepares those and so creates those. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the challenge is and how mentally tough and how much we've really put on ourselves over the course of the season to where this one shows up.
Quick follow up on that. Your shirt, what do the players on that shirt mean to you?
Everything. Players in our locker room, everything. These guys are the only thing that gets it done. You know, JT, he had these shirts made. He was like, "Hey, I made a shirt. Would you rock it?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'd rock it. Bring it." I don't think I'd washed it like 5 times. So much strength. They're everything, dude. I mean, if you put anything ahead of the players in your locker room at any level, or anything ahead of the people in your house, or anything ahead of the people in your business, I don't know how the blueprint gets done. I don't. Because you can have all the scheme in the world, you can have all the great handbooks, you can have all the great meetings, you can be as organized and OCD as you want. If the culture and DNA isn't good, you're gonna suck. It's not gonna work. It may be a flash in the pan, it may work once, it may work in the beginning, it may work in the end, but at some point you're gonna get a crack and a shake, and you're gonna need the glue to keep it together.
Right here, home.
Marcus, I'm curious, are you a believer in momentum at all? And I'm just curious, kind of the balancing act here. If you guys are rolling offensively with so much momentum, you take this long layoff and kind of the rust factor, how much you think that'll factor in for you guys after 3.5 weeks when, you know, the team that played last week got to knock that off early?
Yeah, that's a great question. No, I'm a total believer in momentum. I am. I think that, you know, how you define that is always hard. But I think for us, when you start to get in a rhythm, you start to feel, you know, certain things in a game or a couple weeks, timing. That is a definite feel, whether it's a course of a couple weeks or a season or a game. When you start to really get on a heater, you know, then it feels, you're like, okay, it's feeling good. Can a break put a lull in that potentially? You know, you don't know yet. You try not to let that happen. You have to do that in practice. Our guys do a pretty good job of knowing where we go. Whether it's, and I think Kenny does a great job with that. I think one of the things that gives you an advantage with that psychologically is letting people know when they're going to have a break, instead of it's kind of ambiguous and they don't really know if you're going to be turn on or turn off or how to be up and down. He's very, very black and white, very clear, communicates really well with, hey, we're going to give you time off. We're going to go ahead and shut off. We're going to do this, but when we come back, we're on. And I think our guys, we've had a weird schedule. We've had like Thursday, Friday off, bye, Thursday, Friday. It's had like that all year. So it's been kind of one of those things where we've had a chance to kind of change, you know, shift that gear, crunch those gears a little bit before. But I think guys, they did a great job this week. They did a great job today. dial it back up. So I'm hoping that they continue that here over the course of the week.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.